This is my EPCO INCHline lantern that I obtained from the ongoing modernization of the Westinghouse parking elevator at Queens Center Mall. I found it outside of the elevator amongst a pile of other equipment that was about to be discarded. Anyways, I wired this up with a switch, a dual pole switch that allows me to select between up and down. And the lantern, in fact, works perfectly. That's actually quite interesting because this lantern is probably at least 2 decades old, and it was never even wired in properly because the lanterns on that elevator never worked. Also, when I found this lantern, the wires for it they looked like they were brand new. They weren't missing any insulation from being tied to another wire, the one that goes to the controller. So anyway, let's do up. And if I leave the switch on, the display does stay on. And now let's do down. The lantern is a surface mount, that's why it's called INCHline. And the way it's mounted is pretty interesting. It has 2 screws that go from the back cover of it and are used to bolt the lantern to just about any surface, such as this piece of plywood that I have it bolted to. And it's on there quite securely, just with those 2 screws. There are also knockouts on the back of the cover, which the wires go through. Now, the way this lantern was mounted was on top of this Westinghouse lantern plate. Just move that out of the way. And in fact, behind this plate was the original Westinghouse lantern assembly, which appeared to have either a dinner bell or what I hate escalators calls the fairy bell. As you can see, the INCHline lantern's been there for quite some time, from the grime lines here. Apparently, to install it, they drilled 2 holes, fed the INCHline lantern's screws through that, bolted it into place. And then for the wires, they took out the upper knockout and fed the wires through the lantern lens opening. Now, most elevator photographers are familiar with the lantern glitch. That's where the lantern, instead of ringing twice for down, rings 3 times. This happens on any lantern that uses 3 wires, where 1 wire is for up, 1 wire is for down, and the 3rd wire is a neutral wire. What happens is that the elevator lantern is wired in properly, but when the controller sends the electrical impulses to the lantern for a down signal and sends 2 pulses instead of 1, because the controller thinks it's just a more basic lantern that can't ring itself twice on just 1 electrical pulse. What happens is that the lantern will come on, it'll ring once, and just before it's going to ring again, like it normally would, it is given another electrical pulse, which makes the whole process start over, and hence, at the end of it all, it has rung itself 3 times. EPCO INCHline lanterns don't do that. Because of the substantial delay for the first gong ringing, there just isn't enough time for it to ring itself 3 times, going on those 2 electrical impulses. Just watch. Let's pretend it's been sent 2 electrical pulses like this, by turning it on, then off, and then on again. Oh, sorry. Because of the delay, it never rang 3 times. I'll be going back there tomorrow to see if I can get another lantern. Let me show you how I wired this up. This is just a simple dual pole switch rated for up to 125 volts. Got this from Radio Shack. It's only about $3. And this is a piece of lamp cord, spare lamp cord that I just connected to it. Now inside the lantern itself, there's a circuit diagram, which you'll see in the following the following pictures, that dictates that the lantern uses 115 volts AC, which is pretty much mains power usage, just residential electrical outlet. US power though, not European. So there's no transformer. This power cord simply goes straight into my power strip down here. The white plug. And so no power adapter required. In order to wire it in, I just took the lantern wires and connected them to jumpers so I could put the switch a little further away, and then connected those jumpers to the switch. Very simple. And let's show it to you one more time. Oh. And we'll do up once more. And that's it.